confession along with the evidence, seal the case and highlight how quickly police can act with solid leads. So finally, on the last slide for my section, we will look at the psychological and bigger picture. So point the number 9, which is psychological findings. So
not evident. Like
okay. So point number 9, which is psychological evidence, psychological findings. There was no evidence of mental illness or substance abuse in the perpetrator.
Yes, perpetrator.
His behavior suggests an opportunistic predator motivated by the displaced anger, perhaps frustrations from life, redirected violently. The victim's lack of resistance is explained by the freeze response, also known as amygdala hijack,
Yes.
where extreme trauma causes the brain to shut down fight or flight instinct. These challenges stereotypes that victims should resist, and shows how psychology explains both offender and victim's behavior. So the last one is broader implication. So the case revealed vulnerabilities in parking structure, CCTV coverage, and public space security. It led to real change like improved CCTV system, calls for women parking zone, and greater public awareness of situational safety. So overall, these findings not only solve a tragedy but push society toward better prevention of gender-based crime. So next, I will pass to Aziz.
Okay, thank you, Puteri. So now I will explain about the finding of the court. Ahmad Najib was formally charged on 3rd July 2003 for rape and murder. Okay. So the main trial start on 15 September 2004 at the Shah High Court and last 52 days. Okay, so the prosecution called 69 witness and used evidence like DNA, blood trace, and Ahmad Najib on confession to prove his guilty. Okay, so Ahmad Najib lawyer tried to defend him by claiming that the victim consented and that his statement was false, but forensic and behavior expert rejected this claim. Okay, expert explained that Candy injury was caused by struggling, not by choice. Okay, so on 23 February 2005, 20. Ahmad Najib was found guilty of all charges. Okay, he was sentenced to death for murder and 20 years in prison plus 10 whipping for rape. His appeal failed, and the death sentence was carried out on 23 September 2016 at the Sungai Buloh prison. So that's all about for my part. Next. I pass to Stephanie.
Good afternoon. I will talk about the literature of crime and psychological analysis on Canny Ong's case. So first, we will go into deeper regarding psychological behavior, mental disorder, and emotional needs. So first, I will talk about psychological behavior in the documentary of Canny Ong. As you can see, manipulative and emotionally detached, where Najib in the documentary, when he was questioned by the police officer, he managed to manipulate and turn things around, where he dodged the questions and he tries to turn it around for the police so that he won't be caught on what he did to Canny Ong. And every time when a reporter comes and captures his face or photograph his face, he would always smile with lack of remorse and no guilt, no sympathy or guilt on his face. So this shows that in psychological behavior that he is psychopathy and probably have antisocial disorder, where he has no very cold type of person and very remorseful. Next is mental disorder. In the documentary, there was no information regarding whether Najib had mental disorder or not, but it showed through his violent ways, where he was emotionally detached and lack of moral reasoning. This is because when Canny Ong's best friend went into court for testimony, she had direct eye contact with Najib in the court, and he immediately smiled at her, but the smile was very cruel and lack of any sympathy or remorseful towards Canny Ong. So this, what we can see from here, is that there is no mention of any mental disorder, but from his violent actions or what he did to Canny Ong and how he tortured, raped her and then murdered her cold and brutally, you can tell that he's not a normal person. Then lastly is emotional needs, which is control and dominance. In the documentary, Canny Ong was trying to look for something in her car, and suddenly Najib pushed her into the car and took control of the car and drove at a high speed by asserting his control over her through fear and dominance. So this shows that he wants to prove that, to take control over her, so that and also he raped her 2 times. One was after the two police officers went to on night patrol because they spotted Najib and her in the car. So before they could investigate further or question further, he drove the car very well because he sensed that Canny was trying to signal that she needed help. So because of that, he raped her once and then another one, second time at the construction site. Then he stabbed her twice in the stomach and dumped her body in the manhole. This shows that he used his control and violence to control her over fear. Next slide. Do the literature provide you with the knowledge related to the crime? In my opinion, yes, because the crime analysis we did on Canny Ong provides a lot of information regarding about psychological behavior, emotional needs, and mental disorder. As I said, the psychological where he was manipulative and he dodged the question easily, he spun the question around, shows that in criminological terms that it has patterns of deep psychological problem. And then for emotional needs, after he raped Canny Ong, he tied her hands and covered her mouth, which shows that he had no emotional, was very cold towards her, and he doesn't not bothered or doesn't feel any remorse of what he did to Canny Ong. Then lastly, for mental disorder, as I said, there's no mention whether he had mental disorder, but because of his violent acts and how manipulative he was, it shows that he is very cold type of person. And as also in the documentary, his neighbor said that he was a good person, but this tells us that even a good person can also do crime. Hence, psychological analysis depends. Hence, psychological analysis in this case shows that we not only look to in just one angle where it's about the case or how it happened, but we also analyze it psychologically and emotionally, and also try to figure out whether there's an element of mental disorder in this case. Thank you. I will pass to Shira.
Okay, so now to wrap up our presentation, so basically the Canny Ong case remains one of Malaysia's most horrific crimes, which it exposed the dangers of opportunistic violence against against women in public spaces and shattered our sense of safety in places like mall parking lots. So a quick recap about the perpetrator, which is Ahmad Najib bin Aris, which he appeared normal but with no prior record. So he abducted, raped and murdered 28 years old Canny Ong on June 13, 2003. So justice was served through a strong evidence, which is forensics, CCTV and DNA. Then so appeals, including the victim blaming attempts, were rejected, and he was executed by hanging on September 23, 2016. 16, right? Okay. So the case drove positive changes where Malaysia's improved security with enhanced CCTV and better lighting, plus the designated women's parking zones, and so it also showed that the strengths of Malaysia judicial system. So psychologically, it revealed chilling traits in the perpetrator, which is claim demeanor and no remorse, then manipulation and a need for control and dominance, where is a possible antisocial tendencies without mental illness, substance abuse or trauma. So the victim's freeze response highlights how trauma works. So the key lesson that we can get from this case, this is we need awareness of subtle warning signs and advancements in forensics and psychology, and proactive measures to protect vulnerable people. So in the end, this tragedy provides a closure through justice, but calls for ongoing efforts to prevent impunity and drive real change. So I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kita ikut perbezaan.